what I want to talk to you about are 3 techniques that you can use for dealing with difficult questions. The better question, what's behind your question, and let me illustrate that with a story. The first one that you can talk about is the better question. So instead of responding to the question that you've been asked, you say a better question is X, Y, Z, and you answer that better question. The second technique that you can use is what's behind your question. So for example, I was talking to somebody the other day and she'd been in a board meeting and she was asked, when are you leaving? As a response to a difficult decision that they were trying to make. So it was clear that somebody was trying to undermine her. And she was so surprised that she said, in 3 weeks' time. So a much better response would have been, what's behind your question? Because it was a deliberate attempt to undermine her. The third technique is to answer a difficult question by saying, let me illustrate that with a story. Let me clarify that with a story and explain it, and then you go into answering the difficult question with a story. So you tell them something which shows that you've done this before and you know what you're doing. So that's the third technique. 3 top techniques for managing difficult questions. What I want to talk about now are 2 techniques for managing challenges and how you manage challenges. And the first is the what, how technique, and the second is feel, felt, found, find, and how you use that technique.
So Jess, I've looked through this, and this new project management approach, it's just not going to work.
So Dave, what isn't going to work?
Well, it's going to take too long. It's going to slow everything down. You know all the priorities I'm trying to manage at the moment. On top of that, you've got here, I've got to coach the team as well. So I just don't see how this is going to be possible.
Okay. So what can we do that you could get up to speed, manage your priorities, and coach the team? Because I'm hearing that it's not that the things aren't doable; it's that it's time.
Number one, you're going to have to reassign some of my priorities. If you can make some time, then if you do that, we'll have to look at who does what. That's going to have an impact on the rest of the team.
So how can we make sure that it's all doable?
Yeah, I mean, if you can take something off my hands, I mean, my main issue here is I don't have time to do the things you're asking me to do. If you can help me with that, then yeah, it's doable. Just look, I've looked through this new project management approach, and I just don't see how this is going to work. It's just going to take too long. There's so much going on at the moment. I'm going to have to get my head around all of this. You've got me coaching the team. I just don't see how this is going to work.
So I can see that you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
That's tough for you.
It's a huge amount to do.
Right. So do you remember how you felt when we did the Current One project?
Oh yeah, Current One. That was a tough project. No, I do remember that.
What you found though, that after you were working on it for a bit, that you got the project plan in place, we'd worked out what the deliverables were, we'd understood where we were going with all of this, that you found that you could cope. Do you remember how you felt about it a little bit in?
Yeah, no, it did get easier. No, I have to admit, once we got our feet under the desk, it did get easier.
I think you might find that if you took the same approach again, you might feel a bit less swamped. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think I probably just have to really get my head around what's here.
So make your life easier, try out these techniques, get to grips with them, and you'll discover how powerful they can be for you.